And I wanted a big sculpin for high water. You know, we have a lot of sculpins for low water, but I really wanted something that would move big fish. And I really don't rely on, when I tie this fly, I'll just tell you a few things that I don't do. And I'll give Forrest some credit for this too, because he kind of told me about this whole little setup. And it's pretty interesting. It'll change a lot of your guys' perspective on the way you tie foam in your flies. One thing is I don't care about putting on let's say a trailer. You know, I have a long tail on this fly, and you would think, well, you're going to get a lot of short strikes. Well, yeah, but I'm not looking for small fish. I'm looking for big fish. So forget the short strikes. If you want to put a trailer rig and have a little secondary hook back there, you can, but you're going to catch small fish on it, and I just don't want to have those fish get in the way of what I'm trying to do. I call those fish guard fish. They're getting in the way of the big fish, so they're guarding those big fish. So they're guard fish. But another thing is, Forrest taught me something. I don't know where he learned it, but we all learn things from other people. I learned this from Forrest. To counterbalance or counterweight your flies, okay, so here's the thing. Anybody know anything about Kelly Gallup or his whole theory on how he tries to get his flies to ride the water? He's not trying to get flies to fall fast. So let's say we take a hook and we weight it. Let's say we take this hook and we weight it. We got some weight on the front. Well, if we just relied on that, our fly would fall and we'd stop the tree, right? Well, fish are just not interested in a fast fall, especially trout. They don't want anything falling fast. They like that slow fall. So what Forrest started doing was tying foam in the back here to offset the weight. So now when he stops to retrieve, it doesn't just dive. It just kind of, the same thing Kelly Gallup talks about is when you stop the strip, you know, flies flutter in the water. They don't, especially dying ones, they don't just dive to the ground. So fish just lose total interest on that presentation. So, you know, Forrest is tying foam, and I'm tying foam in all my flies if I'm trying to kind of counterbalance this weight. I don't know, Forrest, do you tie your foam in without trying to counterbalance the weight of the head?
Yeah, that and it just swims better, so it's going to kind of move like the head will dig down, kind of flutter down, but the fly doesn't move down. And then when you strip it, it just kind of flutters up.
So that foam will really help. It's kind of key to getting these fish to go, well, don't want that. Well, if it falls real fast, they're done with it. But if it stops and it just flutters with no sudden fall, they commit to it every time. Another thing I do is, if you see a fish and you're going to pull him and he's starting to run at your fly, you can stop that fly dead in its tracks and he'll just run right into it and eat it. Just like that. And you would think that they would just look at it, smell it, and go away. For some reason, they'll go ahead and eat it. They'll take it probably 8% of the time. So anyways, I'm going to try to tie this fly here. What I'm using here is it's a big Tecumseh 799, which is a steelhead fly hook. And this eye here, it doesn't matter just as long as you got some weight. These are just a fancy little Metz eyeballs, which we've all kind of, I'm sure some of you have them at home. The key is just trying to get, like this is the heaviest one they made, but it's a big hook. It's got a big gape. And that's kind of, the guy who invented this circus peanut, he's from Michigan. I called him on the phone one day and we started talking about flies when I was developing this fly. And I told him I was having a problem with finding the right hook. And he recommended this one to me as soon as he did, and I started fishing it. I haven't had any problems now in hook sets. The other ones I was doing, it was kind of up and down. So here we go.
What size hook is it?
This is a 1/0. I use 1/0s, 2/0s. This fly is fairly easy too. Like I said, I don't like flies that are just difficult. You know what I mean? I just want them to be kind of easy. So, anyways, I'm a big fan of red. So this is a 2mm piece of foam. That's all it is. It's cut as a square, and this is all you're going to do is just capture this back here. Is that working good? Was it better before? It was better without it, wasn't it?
That's good.
That's good.
Okay. Now, I don't worry about cutting a bee or anything. I kind of want to rely on the whole piece of the foam, so I'm just going to capture that down like that. And then I'll just tie in this front piece and just secure it. Kind of what you're trying to do is cut it the same diameter as that, as this hide that's on this rabbit. And this is just hairline rabbit. It's got the barring in it. I like that mottled look, you know, especially on sculpins. So, like I was saying before, if you want to attach a trailer and run another hook, you can do that. I don't do it because I don't really care about those small fish. I'm after the big ones, and they're just going to eat the head of this fly when they hit it anyway. So I'm just going to tie in my tail. I'm going to measure it to about right there. I'm just going to cut this off. Uh-oh. Did that happen before? All right, so that's that. Next thing you do, this is simple, is you're just going to palm or marabou up this fly. I like to kind of break the contrast, so I use two different colors. And you want to look for pieces that are real soft and don't have a big stem. You want the stem to kind of be soft, so you get more of the wrap out of the fly. So as I'm finding these, I'll tell you this too. That's why I have a big thing of marabou. There's a lot of bad marabou, just like deer hair. If you don't know what you're getting, like if you buy a bag that's like this, store bought, you're not going to get every one of these to work out for you. So that's $1.50 or something. But I just figured if you get something like this, you'll have a lot more good stuff, because you're going to go through a lot of bad stuff. So has anybody ever palmered? You don't know what that is, right? Just tying this. Actually, we're going to use this piece first. So I'm tying it at the tip, and I'm just going to wind back to where I meet up with that tail. Cut that piece off. Now I'm just going to advance my thread up and get it out of the way while I palmer this. And this will kind of, proportion the fly out too, because it's fairly long, so it'll blend in with most of that tail. Once you start getting to the hard stem part, that's when you don't want to use it anymore. And I always tie everything off at the top, not on the bottom or something, because that's how you crowd eyes and stuff like that. And then I'm going to wind back on this. This will kind of push it back. It'll lay it back. And I'll actually tie on top of that. But I'll advance my thread up just a little bit. You don't have to go side by side all the way up, as far as setting the next piece in.
You ever use the rabbit strip for the body too?
You do, but it's short because this fly is you're trying to make the proportion match the size of the tail. A rabbit would just look totally funny on a big fly like this. But yeah, I have a circus peanut right here that's all rabbit. What I do here, I don't know if you can see in the camera here, but I tie in marabou, and then I'll tie in these two side silly legs. It's almost like you tie in silly legs instead of flash on the sides. So it's just another way to add more action into the fly. Then I tie in the piece on the back to kind of match the tail, and then I'll palmer up. Put the beads in the middle with mono. I put in another little tuft of rabbit to kind of hide those beads.